Alright, in today's video, let's talk about bodyweight isolation exercises and whether you should do them or not in your own training. So let's dive right into today's video. Now, I actually wanted to make a video like this for quite a while now, but I really didn't find a good way to actually start off today's video. However, over the last few weeks, I pretty much got some comments from you guys in the comment section actually asking about isolation exercises, whether I do them or not and whether they are effective or not. And now that I have a good entry into a video like this, let's talk about calisthenics isolation exercises. If it comes to exercises, you pretty much have two main groups: isolation and compound exercises. Compound exercises pretty much are very big exercises which are going to work multiple muscle groups at the same time. Whenever you're doing these exercises, you usually have multiple joints actually involved in these type of exercises. And to give you guys some examples, we're going to be talking about pull-ups, dips, squats, deadlifts. Pretty much a very big exercise that actually usually end up being full body exercises, because let's say for a deadlift, apart from using your legs, your glutes and your hamstrings, you're also bracing your core using your lats, therefore using almost every single muscle in your body. And these exercises are pretty much always going to be your main focus in a workout program or a training regimen. And that is regardless of goals. Whether you want to get stronger, when you want to get bigger, the main focus of your workout should always be the main compound movements. That is usually why they are done first in a workout, and also when following a training program, those exercises tend to be tracked closely to ensure progressive overload on these exercises. And then next to compound exercises, you also have isolation exercises. These exercises usually only work about one muscle group at a time, and you usually only have one joint in which movement is happening. Oftentimes you actually have some core activation when doing these exercises, but that actually doesn't turn an isolation exercise into a compound exercise, like I've actually talked about with somebody in my comment section a couple of weeks ago. And to give you guys some examples of isolation exercises, you're pretty much always going to be talking about extensions and curls. So pretty much, you know, dumbbell curl, tricep extensions, and then the same thing with the legs, a quad extension and a hamstring curl. And whenever you're training, these exercises are always done on top of your main compound exercises. And whenever you're training, these are never going to be the main focus of your workout program. That is usually why they tend to be done on top of your compound movements whenever the compound movements have been finished, towards the back end of your workout, to make sure that the performance on your compound movements is as best as it possibly can be. And now the main question of today's video: should you be doing isolation exercises? In my opinion, no, which pretty much is the reason why I actually haven't done them for the last 4 years. Now, some people believe you should be doing isolation exercises for the carryover effect to your compound exercises. Now, I'm not gonna lie, because you're pretty much using the same muscles, there has to be some carryover effect to your compound movements. But that's like saying having sex is going to improve your deadlift. Yes, you're using the exact same muscles, but the carryover effect, but it's literally going to be not even noticeable. So if you want to get better at your compound movements, whichever one that actually is, you're much better off just focusing on the compound movement itself, making sure that they're programmed in a good way and that you're doing variations of those compound movements to supplement the main compound movements. And the second reason people think you have to do isolation exercises is because it's going to help you to prevent injuries. Now, I've actually done a full video on, injury prevention, more specifically on one-arm pull-up training, but pretty much from that video, you guys would actually know that there are much better ways to pretty much prevent injury than doing isolation exercises. If anything, doing more work and putting more stress on your structures, especially your ligaments, is going to have a negative effect on your risk of injury instead of having a positive effect, what you're pretty much going for. So if you want to prevent injuries, you have to be very aware of your load management, doing good form on your exercises, and getting to and maintaining a decent level of mobility and flexibility. In my opinion, there only are a few cases in which doing isolation exercises actually makes sense. First and foremost, to target weak links after you have sustained an injury. Let's say any kind of elbow or knee pain, because as part of your rehab and then after your rehab, it definitely makes sense to keep working on those weak links to prevent that same injury from happening again. And then secondly, to target muscle groups that you wouldn't be training unless you're doing those isolation exercises. And then lastly, if you have any physique oriented goals and you actually want to bring certain body parts up, it definitely makes sense to isolate them if compound exercises aren't sufficient to actually develop that specific muscle group. However, this only pretty much implies after you've been training for 5-6 years, because a lot of those beginners out there are going to be saying things like, well, I have to do bicep exercise because my bicep is a weak muscle group, you know, because my bicep is lagging. Well, your bicep isn't lagging, your body is lagging because you only have been training for a few months. But if you find that after 5 or 6 years of training, following a program and actually being very aware of progressively overloading your training, if you then have any weak links, it definitely then makes sense to do isolation exercises to bring up any lagging body parts. And with that being said, that pretty much is going to wrap up today's video. As always, like, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and share the video with somebody that you think it might be helpful to. If you guys have any more questions, video ideas, or advice, leave it down below in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, on a Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, 3 videos a week, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Latest.